to Systema Uppsala. For today's instructional video, we're gonna talk about how to use Systema defenses against punches, against blunt weapon like sticks, or also against knives. Welcome. So let's start about first. What are the common punches that we can expect out on the street? The most common punches is from the side. You can have uppercut, but they are less common. You can have elbows, and then you can have a straight punch. Punches can go in a sunflower, so it can go up at 45 degrees, straight up. It can punch can go forward or side up. Sometimes side down you can go, but usually elbows at that angle. The closer distance you will to your opponent you have, the closer then the elbow's gonna fly, because you cannot have a good punch from this distance. If an opponent doesn't move, I can use a boxer method here, but instead of my opponent just standing still, he actually, when he starts to move around, if you start to move around, it's gonna be really hard for me to actually find a proper punch here. So I need to understand that on the streets, when we have a lot of adrenaline in our body and our hands starting to become heavy, you usually see these kind of punches. Boom, boom, people just throwing and trying to hit the other guy out as fast as possible, or knock the other guy out as fast as possible. So the common mistakes on the street or when you practice self-defense is you have either too far away from your opponent, and the opponent can give you a lot of heavy punches because he have full momentum on you. Boom, here he can move around, and it's also, when you at distance, it's easier for your opponent to move away when you try to punch. So for you to understand that Systema, we are not boxers, we are not experts on boxing or stuff like that. We have some knowledge about punches, and we have a special punch like Systema punch, and we have ballistic punch and stuff like that. But those punches, if opponent have good knowledge, it's not easy to get them through. So you have to know how to build up to that, how to give a proper punch. And if we go back to what Systema is invisible weapon. So as soon as we do this towards our opponent, we are giving up our own weapon. We're showing we have something. It prepares our opponent for combat. So Systema should be where you're relaxed and punch from that angle that your opponent doesn't expect. But on the streets, when there's aggression and we're not in a training like gym, there's a lot of psychology in that. So when you're stressed, when you have adrenaline, when your stomach feels like you have butterflies, or you feel nauseous and stuff like that, you need to actually learn how to disengage that feelings. How can you make yourself relax to make those punches that Systema practitioners do? And also, it's not only to give punches, it's also how to receive punches, because it's like this. You cannot be 100% sure that you're not gonna receive a punch. And if you have somebody that practice punching like a boxer, you're gonna have problem, because if you think, okay, I can receive his hook here because I trained that in a gym, so I stand here, and he actually trained his hook, you're gonna knock out, you're gonna drop, and then you're gonna lose. So you have to learn how to control that. But if the opponent that you have towards you has some knowledge, you have to know how to control that opponent, or how to control the direction of the punches, which we're gonna talk next. So first, to remember, when we are getting attacked, we have actually a stress level on us. Depending on your training, it's gonna be either this way, high, and you have like real stressful and your brain doesn't work properly, or you're gonna be at too low level, which you gonna actually expect to be like the opponent's not gonna hurt you. Like you try to when we are in a conflict, we try to force our opponent to drop the attack. But usually don't try to be at the same aggression level. So I try to drop my own aggression, not focusing on my opponent. So I like relaxment, which actually gives my opponent a chance to make a punch. And if he has some knowledge, it's gonna be bad. So understanding this, you have to be at least on some level of relaxation, but also awareness. It should be at that level. You cannot be too relaxed or too hyped up. So you have to find this cool awareness, and also always try to breathe. What does breathing do? It relaxes the body. The more you breathe, or the deeper you breathe, it relaxes your body, make your brain think and calmly. So first what I'm gonna teach is, when a person hits you, it's really hard for on the streets to know what type of punch is gonna be. It's gonna be a straight punch, it's gonna be a hook, or it's gonna be an uppercut. You cannot in that second know exactly how to do, what punch is gonna be. So the natural reflex mechanics we're gonna have, it's a flinch reflex. So same thing happens here. If my partner is gonna punch me here, the first reflex is gonna be a flinch response. For me to remember one thing, he's not gonna stand there. He's not gonna do a punch and then he's gonna stand there and I can do a lot of cool stuff here. I need to understand that he's gonna pull back to regain his balance again and punch me again. So if he's a professional boxer, then he has footwork, body work and everything. He's gonna be a really tough opponent to beat. So what's gonna happen for me? I need to first understand that my body gonna flinch a little bit. I gonna try to at least deflect the punch. If you have no proper knowledge about how to deflect the punch, you're gonna have problems. So it's not only by knowing how to deflect a punch. You have to actually be your body has that in a muscle memory. So for some people, when something flies up, they do like this. Some people do like this. Some people do like this, and everything. And if you train a specific self-defense, you should know what type of defense you're gonna use in your what type of flinch defense is proper for continuing in that style that you have, or that self-defense. So in Systema, we usually have the normal reflex, like we call, we usually say like a cat's paw. When somebody punch, I just drop it. And I try to have something that we call heavy hands. If I just touch his hand, his body postures will not change. We're gonna stand here and nothing happens. If I have something like a cat paw and I have my body weight and applied to that, and also have something like we call impulse, again we have one video that we actually talked about that. Also, when what we're gonna do, we're gonna apply to that a body weight, and we're gonna try to create from front punch, we're gonna try to apply it in a circular move by applying something that we call a cone principle. So we try to rotate our hand and add with the body weight that way. It's not gonna go, the hand's not gonna fly towards and back here, no. It's gonna fly away a little bit from me. The next hand, what's gonna do is gonna either slide towards the opponent or it slide past the opponent. So it's gonna look like this. Either this way or either that way. I'm gonna explain why this way is better than this way. So once again, we're not fighting an amateur on the streets. We don't know who's we're gonna fight. If you're lucky, it's an amateur. Unlucky, it's a professional. So you have to have, you have to be like, try to stay calm in the middle, somewhere, not too hype, not too relaxed, somewhere in the middle. If my colleague is gonna punch me here, I'm gonna try to relax my body, try to move. I need to have proper footwork. There's a video out there, proper footwork, to rotate. And the first what is gonna happen is something's gonna fly out. So it's usually a flinch response. So it doesn't matter. If my colleague here is gonna try to punch me, I don't know which hand is gonna go. So I giving him punch wherever however you like. The only thing I need to know that I can see through the shoulder where the punch is gonna start. I don't know how it's gonna go, side, up, down, forward, or any direction, but I know where it's gonna start. So I'm focusing like a triangulation here. I focus it through solar plexus to the shoulder, not watching the eyes, because the eyes can lie. So I'm focusing on this. So I try to see the shoulders when the opponent is not punching yet. So if I don't know what punch is gonna fly, so I'm relaxed here, it's gonna be a flinch response. Then I need to learn, with the proper footwork, as you see, I need to learn to move towards the opponent. If I move backwards, if I get scared and move backwards, we're gonna give my opponent another time to punch. So both hands. So he gonna go bomb, bomb, and then I gonna have harder time to build momentum forward, because when you're starting to back up and somebody gaining on you, it's gonna be a really hard time to gain back on the person. So you have to actually move forward here. What next hand do? Either it goes under, if we turn around like here, so the opponent punching, either it goes under to maybe do a drop or a sweep or something like that, go into Systema area, or I gonna block the next punch immediately. I prevent it from even starting. If I wasn't able to the opponent moved back somehow. So he did a punch. I need to like get stuck on that hand. It's really important that I get stuck on that hand, because now we're gonna talk about how our brain works. So how does our brain works actually? It's like this. If something flies towards you straight, your brain has in a closest distance, it has really hard time to actually protect itself. It goes really quick and you're not able to react. Anything that goes around from the sides, our brain actually can react faster. Also, this half circular is far slower than a straight punch. So it's also the time is much higher here, which gives you also time to react even more. Also to understand that when we have no contact on opponent's arm, we can and he's punching a lot, we're gonna have problem to control it. The only time we can control the arm when we have a little bit of contact with the arm. So we're gonna do an exercise, and understand that this is an exercise that teaches you really well towards what we're gonna train later. So if my partner here closes his eyes, and I'm gonna place a hand in front of him, and he try to either grab it or catch it. I'm not punching, I'm just placing it in front of him. How fast can he find where the hand is? There we go. Again. Okay, again. Okay, now we have both hands, so he has to try to find both hands. You can use both hands too. So again. Okay, again. Again. So, like you see, if we cannot see the attack, we're never gonna be able to protect ourselves against it. How can we, in a multiple attacks, be able to see every punch and control opponent's body, to actually control the attack, control his balance, control the psyche of opponent? How can we do all of this in this second? So now, if my colleague here is gonna put his hand on top of my arms here, closes his eyes, and I'm gonna try to punch him slowly towards him. Without seeing what type and knowing if it's gonna be side, up, or forward, he gonna actually feel really quickly, because our muscle memories, muscles can do a lot of work without eyes helping. So if I try to punch somehow. Okay, both hands then. Same here, I try to punch. Like you see, he's every time he knows where the hands are in the space of time, and he also can be more relaxed. So now when he opens his eyes and can use his eyes as an extra help, place his hands on top, he actually can use proper Systema, so he can actually defend himself in a much better way. Like we call sticky hands method. You stick to the hand and you're not holding them, because then you're gonna have escapes. If you hold me, then we can have escapes and then you lose the hands. You just stick to them and redirect the attack. So if my partner tries to hit me, I redirect it. I'm controlling the angles every time where they should go, and I'm moving. So if you try to punch a couple of times, I'm standing here and I'm doing all this, and I'm not doing anything towards him. I like boom, 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 boom. But as soon as I do this, I get stuck with it. Now I actually can control it. So even if he pulls back this hand, I can follow with it. I can lock it. I can take him down now. Now I have control, much more control of the body. So again, if he punches, if I try to control his body, and my partner is gonna move around with the punches, and I try to hold his body and like everything, it's really hard. But as soon as I get stuck with his hands, now everything works as it should. Usually people on internet say like, okay, you're punching too slow. Nobody punches that fast. Okay, if my colleague's gonna try to do a fast punch towards me, you can do it to body, and no, just one punch, boom, as fast as possible, bam, yeah, again, bam, even faster, bam, bam, there you go, fast, bam. So how can I control the punch? So every time I'm gonna try to grab it, and then nothing happens. I need to move with the hand. I need to control. If we turn around again, so everybody sees, I need to move with the hand. I need to know proper footwork. Stay there. Proper footwork to not get a second punch on me. But I need to, as soon as this punch goes, need to move, so the next punch won't be able to attack me. Also, by understanding how our biomechanics works, if I get close to his elbow when he's pulling backwards, I can actually control through the elbow, through the shoulder, the opponent. So I actually can control through his elbow the next punch. So if opponent tries to punch me here, boom, I move forward, I'm controlling the elbow, and he tries to punch me second time, maybe turning or turning and stuff like that. If I'm controlling the elbow, try to turn, I'm not giving him opportunity to turn. Also, if he tries to punch me here, I also can off balance him, if you see. So again, one punch and second punch, and you see what happens. I automatically off balance him, because he cannot rotate and he cannot punch because I'm pushing him away from the punch. So when usually people say, okay, he punched you here and then he gonna punch me there. Of course, if I have no control, if I do like this, of course it's gonna fly next punch. But if I can control the elbow, it's not gonna fly. So for the next part, we're gonna see how do proper punches looks like, and we're gonna actually analyze and see how to protect against the proper punches. Mostly on YouTube, people that teaches you defense against punches. You can actually see that the student or somebody that punches towards the instructor or the guy that's doing instructional video, the student has no knowledge against how to do a proper punch. So first we're gonna see how how a proper punch looks different from somebody that has no knowledge. So basically, if we have a pad here and a person that has no knowledge, and the instructor tries to show that he can deflect maybe a hook. Let's talk about hooks. So you see the student takes a big leap between the instructor, and then he goes with this big haymaker like this, and the instructor actually can, if my training partner do a big punch here, the instructor actually can do a really good calculated defense, because he sees the punch miles away and he knows, like, okay, it's gonna be a hook, don't need to do any effort in there. But as soon as we understand that a hook it comes from close, it doesn't go like this, it's more like from close, from a boxing method. So you go like, and you go full body here, boom, and you activate. Now it's really fast, and it doesn't open up so much, open up so much. So what's gonna be, if a person hits me from a full body motion here, it's gonna be fast, boom, and immediately it's also harder for me now to do a cool deflect, because it goes so fast in, so I immediately not be able to deflect it. It's gonna be in my face faster than I do a deflect. So by understanding that I need to have this flinch response left in me, I just apply it here. So if a person tries to punch me here in the pad, quick, boom, there you go again, boom, there you go again, whoop. So now I have my hands relaxed, and as soon as possible I need to control the punch. I cannot wait here. I need to be as close as possible. As soon as the punch comes, I need to control it. That's what we call a flinch response. We're creating a forward motion, and we create something in a cone principle. What we have a principle for deflecting or removing attack that goes towards you, either by weapon or by punch. It's a cone principle. So basically you need to understand how to create a cone principle. So for me, I need to create this a shorter, so I create in here and immediately goes for his elbow, like I said before. So punch comes here, boom, quick punch, boom, there he goes, again, whoop, and now he goes there. Some people says, okay, he's giving too much of his body weight, because the punch goes like this, it's not so much body weight. Because I'm creating a rotational force around his spine, here it's immediately off balance him. So when a person punches, slow, when a person punches, here is no force created on his spine, but as soon as I pull down on it, it actually rotates him around his spine and towards his off balance here. So that's why the reaction for a person as soon as he punches, boom, punch again, it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be like this. Okay, with shoulders? Yeah. So next, now we have a hook. We have something that usually calls haymaker, but we hit it behind the neck here. And this punch also, if people doesn't know how to punch it, it has no meaning to teach how to protect against it, because if this is behind the neck, it's never gonna be like this. Oh, it's gonna go and towards here. It's really quick and pulls back. So if I do slow on my training partner, here it goes boom, and it hits towards, okay? So it goes boom here. So it's almost like a hook, but it passes and you hit with your forearm here, boom, behind the neck. So how do we protect? We need to be relaxed here. If a person hits me behind the neck here, boom, I need to be quick, and I need to also try to get closer and to feel his hand here. So now it's gonna work. If I'm standing here and he gives this big haymaker towards behind of my back here, I can even sleep on the way, and I go like, and it's not gonna touch me. But if I know that the real punch is gonna go here and it's gonna go from short, I need to know that I need to actually have proper knowledge here, and I cannot control it out here, because the punch is not gonna stick here, it's gonna rotate. So as if I control it here, I'm gonna immediately gonna go for my own head. So I need to control it somewhere here where it's gonna slide. And next punch, straightforward punch. Basically, so many people teach them from hip forward, boom, close, not from running here, boom, somewhere there, but it should be, and it should be explosive towards, relaxed and explosive, boom, there, hip and hand, it's not loaded, it goes boom, there, boom. So from this punch also, if I'm not controlling it, if I'm holding it here, the pad here, and my training partner tried to hit me forward, boom, and I'm not controlling it, it's gonna be really hard for me to stop it, especially if it goes towards my face. So for me, I need to have something that you've seen a lot of in Systema is from this hand. I take the control and I rotate it. So you punch, boom, and rotate it. Rotate it. Control, rotate. Control, rotate. You see, I'm not waiting and rotate it, because if I wait and rotate, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna get punched. I need to control, rotate. So if my training partner tries to punch me quick and fast, so boom, here, through, boom, there, punch, boom, boom, there you go. I need to control and rotate, control and rotate. Now it works perfectly if I know that I need to control the angle first and lead it. I cannot wait for it. So next punch, uppercut. From uppercut, how to build a proper uppercut. It's not gonna be this. Person holds it like this, here, away from your face, so I not hit your face, and it's not gonna be this. It's not that. Usually people, something happens and they lift it up, boom, here. They hold, maybe they hold the neck, and then they go up through uppercut. Or like boxers do, they go out and they hit an uppercut. Boom. So you need to know how to do a proper uppercut, and after that you can now see what you can do against it. So we are in a wrestle here, and a person standing here, and then suddenly the uppercut comes. So I need to know that from here I need to actually control only this angle. So I drop my hands forward. So as soon as I see that the uppercut, the hand drops down, so he punched me here, and then he goes from under here, punch here, boom. As soon as I see that the elbow drops, I need to immediately go into it, and I do a simple slice on his arm. So now we analyze it from here. It's basically drop your hand down, and then you help with the next hand. So like I said, if you just focus on the angle, you're gonna get hit anyway. So you need to have a help that leads it towards the angle. So again, if you try to uppercut me with the hip, boom, here, there you go. So I need to whoop, and I need to drop it, and you see immediately it's not gonna go through me. So same here, he holds, again, he tries to do an uppercut from here, boom. I need to go straight in, and now I need to control the elbow, because he's not gonna stay there. So that's what teaches you proper footwork. If I'm standing in proper footwork here, what's gonna happen is, hold. He punches, I did something, and now I need to go that way. It's gonna be really bad for me, because it's gonna be really hard for me to move there. But if I'm already in a proper footwork, I'm ready here. As soon as a person attacks me, I'm already there. I'm already moving that way, and I can rotate. So this is the common ones that can happen on the streets. Forward, uppercut, side. They can go, and of course behind, but they can go at different angles, up, here, from angle. It doesn't matter which angle a hook is gonna come, as long as you're controlling the hand, and he tries to punch down, I can feel it. He tries to punch up, I can feel it. He tries to do this, I can feel it. I can feel it all the time. So basically, once again, you need to first understand what can fly towards you. You're watching the shoulders and the solar plexus. as soon as you understood the punch, the first punch is gonna be a flinch response. You immediately go for the next punch, but you're not removing your hand from this punch. Because if you remove it and you go for that, you're gonna get sucker punched or knocked out. So you stick with those punches. Boom, you immediately stick with them. And now you can go for the principles and takedowns that you like.
Varsågod.
So, what type of defenses do we have? First, you need to understand that you cannot have millions of defenses for every single punch. A person punch you and you do this defense, second time he punches at some other forward but other angle, and suddenly you have this defense, and so, suddenly next angle you have this defense, because in this second of time when the multiple punches goes through, your brain won't able to see everything. So you need to only feel. As soon as you can control and feel, it doesn't matter what punch, but you need to have proper base. So basically what we have, if something goes from the side, we don't block it, we never block it, because we understand one thing. On the streets, it's dark, you doesn't know if the person has a knife or not. If he has a knife, in his hand, it may be a tactical knife, it's dark, it's black, you don't see the blade, and suddenly he goes for your neck to punch, and you understand, your brain understood this as a punch, as a this punch, and you try to block, you're gonna go boom, block. What's gonna happen is boom, and you have a blade in your neck, because you have trained your brain to see the punch, but doesn't understand the difference when something in the hand, like a weapon. In Systema, we understand that the naked hand, without any empty hand, without any weapon, it still in our mind should be a blade in the hand. So basically I protect myself as if it was a knife or a baseball bat or something like that. So if I have this mentality, it doesn't matter if he punches straight and I deflect like this, he stabs me in the face, I still gonna deflect like this. If he attacks me with a hammer fist towards my face here, now we're talking about a little bit advanced punches. Hammer fists not usually seen so much on the street, but people that know them, they're really brutal. So basically, if hammer fist goes from here, I gonna deflect hammer fist like this. If ice pick or knife with an ice pick grip, it goes like this. It's basically a hammer fist. So I cannot block it here. Like block it here, and it's a bigger knife. It's gonna, it's not a small knife. It's gonna go into my neck. So I can either do the same thing as I did here, as I did against the block or against the punch, hammer fist there in the face, boom. Here, same thing happens with the blade. Punch into the stomach, boom. Punch into the stomach here, boom, here. It's not different than you getting stabbed into a stomach. So basically, how do we protect punch against the stomach? If you punch from here, we control it, we touch it, and we redirect it. So again, touch it and redirect it. Touch it and redirect it. We touch it and redirect it. Blade, touch it, redirect it. Touch, redirect. Stop, quicker, boom, boom. Boom. But if I'm gonna try to hunt the hand, I'm standing and waiting for the punch to come. Now it's gonna be a block. Now I'm gonna be late. Immediately I'm gonna be late. So now we're gonna talk about what type of different ways we can use Systema as to protect ourselves with. So punch from the side. We have understanding that this is a circular punch, it goes around. So basically, if my partner doesn't stand still, so he rotates with the punch. He creates circle, complete circle here. So I need to actually help him with that circle. I accelerated him that way. I go close, control, and that way. And now from here I can actually I can hit, because when he's moving that way, I can hit, I can do a lot. We showed already punch towards stomach. Control, rotation, creating continual movement that way. If we have a punch towards the face, here, boom. Same here, control, rotate. So, basically what we do is when a person punch, we help it. And first hand leading it towards our face, pass it, next go closer towards the elbow. And I rotate and I try to capture his shoulder almost. Again, punch, and here. Punch, close to your face, try to punch here, close, 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 there you go. So we understood how to protect against punches, Systema style. So, if my training partner have a stick here, he tries to hit me with it. It's not, like I said, it should not be different from what's happening here with the punch. No, from side. Punch. Boom. I control and I redirect. Same happens here. The only difference here, there's a distance. I'm farther away from the hand. And it's more dangerous. That's the difference. I need to go close, control and redirect. So when my partner hitting me here, actually putting a lot of weight here, boom, behind, I need to understand that only apply an angle and create an angle immediately will protect me against the stick here. So with one hand also, hitting with one hand, doesn't matter. Create, rotate and apply angle. There it goes. See? He's not cheating. He's actually trying. Hit me and I create the angle. Good. Next, if somebody tries to attack your stomach or something, we're gonna go, the most common is not with the stick. It can happen, but the most common with knives. So let's say we have a machete here. Maybe it's sharp at the end too, so he can stab me and he can cut me. So if he attacks me once again here, I need to keep away, and he tries to stab me, same here. I need to control the angle, get close to his elbow. Usually people, when they punch through or stab through, they go back and they go in this motion. So if I only controlling the blade, it's gonna be a really bad situation as quick as possible for me. So I need to get I control the angle or lead it to the angle I created, control the elbow. So it looks like this. And now when he's gonna pull, it's gonna be really hard for him. And like I said at the beginning, many that are gonna watch this video is gonna say, yeah, he can punch me with this hand, but I controlling his shoulder, I controlling his elbow. I gonna control him. One. And we do it once again. So relaxed. Boom. And there we go. Again. And you see, I immediately control whole body, removing his ability to hit punch. And I can bring him down here if I like. I control and I bring him down. Even further removing his ability to attack me. So, let's talk about the last thing on today's instructional video, knives. We talked about a little bit in every video some parts of the knives, but now we're gonna go a little deeper about it. So we should understand that there's many different sizes of knives. It can be small knife, short knife, machete or stuff like that. If I teach myself to, or some martial arts teach me that I should block the attack. So he attacks and I block it. Short knife, maybe. Then also, what's his reaction gonna be? He gonna bounce off and get another attack. So bounce and another attack. If he has any knowledge about knife fighting, so he knows how to do all the fancy attacks, how to rotate his blade and stuff like that, it's gonna be a bad day for me. And on the street, I don't know who's in front of me. I don't know how well trained with knives he is. So I should never give him a chance to activate himself. The first attack that goes should be the last attack he does. So if you only train with a small knife and you learn how to block against knives, it's gonna be a bad day, because knives should not be blocked. They should be redirected, they should be controlled. So basically, if I try to block, he's gonna go for something else. He's gonna cut. If my training partner is blocked, I can drag him, cut him, I can control his arm after it, I can use the knife against him to create the next move. So for me, it's really important that I understand that, and that knives are multi-directional, that I can actually attack. If my training partner stands like this, if you come closer and you look from this angle towards him, basically it's a sunflower I can do. I go down, up, down, under, up, in, here, stab. I can do a lot of damage here when I know how to use a blade properly instead of doing this. So I can use this angle. I can turn this here and everything. So as soon as he tries to block and I understand that I can attack this, I'm gonna go immediately for attacking something else. Block, open, stab. So it's really brutal. So for me, it's really important to know how to control the blade. First, we don't block. We're not doing this. It creates problems for us. We need to, through the blade, control his balance. So when he attacks me, I'm controlling his balance, protecting myself against next move. So if my training partner tries to pull here, it's gonna be really hard. I can actually control the elbow if I like and drop him here. Again. Here. I'm controlling him here. Try to pull. Try to do all the fancy stabs. Now it doesn't work anymore. Say again, if he tries to slice. Again, as soon as I control the elbow, he has problems to do a second attack. If he decides to switch, most people say he would switch, I would switch. Okay, try to switch. He cannot switch. If he had the chance to switch, he put the blade towards him, switch. Why can't I do this? Why can't I control it immediately? I'm not gonna be standing there, he switches, and I stand there and wait for what the hell happened. So as soon as I controlling something went wrong, I'm gonna go for the next arm. I gotta control him, and I'm gonna disarm. So basically, if you understanding proper how to do a proper defense against a blade and controlling the person immediately, it's gonna be a really easy to control no matter who is in front of you. Doesn't matter if he tries to pull immediately. If he tries to stab and pull, it's not gonna work if I know how to protect against the blade. Now, it can, many that watches the video can say, oh, but it's not a real blade. We're outside, we could not take out the real blade, otherwise I would show it with real blade. Maybe in the future. But same here. And your your defense against knife should be in such a way that you can disarm your opponent immediately. So the Kalashnikov style, this one, is actually really easy to disarm your opponent. Because if we understand that when a person grabs an object, if I pull it, I go against his resistance, against the friction of his skin, and if you have proper gloves, if you have tactical gloves, it's gonna be hard for me. But if I create a lever principle here and I rotate, it's gonna be impossible to hold on. Yeah, he can rotate with the arm, so he rotates, but I'm not gonna stay there. I continue moving. I actually want him to rotate with the arm because I need to bring him down or take him down. Or how we have something else that calls lever principle. We already talked about that in many videos. How to use that against somebody. So as soon as he attacks, I deflect, I control, and I create a lever principle. Take the weapon out. So understanding, the only thing you need to understand when you work with knives is that you need to work actually towards a real knife. You cannot stick with this, because psychology needs to be applied when you train with weapons. If you have toys in your hands too long, you're gonna lose respect. You're gonna lose your feeling of the weapon. And as soon as the real blade comes in, doesn't matter how cool or how well trained you are, your instinct of survival is gonna kick in, and what happens, you're either gonna freeze, or you're gonna get scared, or you're gonna cut yourself and not be able to fight. You need to, at the beginning, start teaching yourself to, how to properly disarm, control, to prevent further attacks, how to redirect, how to attack a person, and then later on, how you can progress towards real knife. If you apply a less sharper knife, but real knife, and then you go towards a sharper knife. As soon as your skill gonna be higher. But when you train, you have to have a training partner that can be psychological on you. And one tip I'm gonna give until the end of this video is that when somebody training with a knife, it's all important how your partner is attacking you. He can be fully committed, but no psychology. So basically, if I try to attack my training partner here, and I give him resistance, I give him, and he's protecting, and I give him resistance, and I started to stab him here. It's not psychological. It doesn't give him the same feelings as in a real fight. If I apply this, and if I get a set in my mindset here, I'm gonna stab him, and he's not gonna be able to do this. My goal to stab him is to make him feel like I'm gonna stab him. So I go more with my body language. I get in the psyche. I need to, on the training basically, I need to hurt him, but nicely. So what's gonna happen, his whole body language gonna change. He gonna feel that this negative energy. So basically, from attacking like this, happy, defend, happy, and I even give a little bit resistance here, and yeah, and there. Or I do this, same speed. It's already different. Yeah, because my goal now has changed. I need to try to stab him. The only thing that I removes is the speed. So I have the psychology towards him. I'm aggressive. I'm attacking him. But the only thing, I'm attacking him with lower speed. So I'm have full psychology. You're gonna die here. You're gonna die. And this teaches him to actually, when that's gonna happen, when somebody on the street is gonna go towards him and gonna kill you, or gonna give me your money and have this aggression towards him, he's gonna actually feel a little bit at home. He's gonna feel like my body doesn't fear that situation, because it's gonna be so much pressure on your psyche in that momentum. And a real blade, if you never trained and you're really good with a false blade, and you can do all this fancy stuff and stuff like that, as soon as the real blade comes in, you're gonna fear for your life. You're gonna be, whole body is gonna move differently. So basically, you need to train with, you don't need to train with the real knife directly, but as soon as you understand the biomechanics and control, and you can do it 13 times. I usually say 13 times without fuck-ups. So you do 1, 2, 3, and 13 times. That means you know it works. You take another blade, maybe less sharper, but towards a realistic, and you do it again. You're gonna see immediately your body is gonna move differently. You're gonna rotate much more than you did with a false blade. So that was Systema Uppsala. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.